Okay, for your summary, again, you need to have some of the essential information. You constantly need to make sure that you are giving reference to the author of the piece. So anytime you use the piece that you've researched, you're going to refer to the author. The first time, how do you refer to the author? The full name. And then every time after that, how do you refer to the author? Just by the last name. Good. So you really need to make sure that you're focusing in on who the author of this research is. This person, whoever that person is, has done a lot of work to research this piece. They've gone through the publication process, which is how you got the information. So we always want to make sure we're giving them credit. So whether it's a simple interview, whether it's something that came from the virtual library, whether there are 12 authors, whatever it is, you have to give that person credit. So make sure that whenever you're referring to this piece of research that you have, that you're referring to the author by the first time by their full name, and then every other time after that by their last name. The title of the piece is significant, the title of where it came from is significant, the medium is significant, but you really need to make sure that you give the author's last name. That's imperative. So in your summary, so what you guys should have in front of you, 2 pieces of research and at least 1 summary. So you should have at least 3 pieces in front of you. So at least 1 summary over those 2 pieces. Now if you got summaries for both of those pieces, that's even better. But if you need at least 1 summary of one of your pieces of research. So what you guys are going to do is break into your groups. I sent you your groups last week. So the first group, I want you to raise your hand so everybody can see you. Vic, Arlene, Isaiah, and Keith. So the 4 of you are going to be in a group together. The second group, Jen, Jamel's not here. Nathan, he's not here either. Cody, Shelby, Nate, and Brian. So you guys are all going to be in a group together. My daughter Malala, Deborah and Ahmed are not here. So Rachel and Aubrey. Raise your hand. Rachel, you see Aubrey? Just 2 of them. So Syria, Arming the Rebels. Dakota, Courtney, Terry, Trisha, Summer. Tisha's not here today. So you guys are going to be in a group together. I don't care where your group meets. There is an empty classroom, I think next door, maybe 2 doors down. If you want to go in there and you want to spread out, especially these 2 groups that are much bigger, if you guys want to go into one of those rooms and spread out, I'm totally fine with that. I just need to know where you are because I'm going to come and I'm going to record your research components. So here's what you're going to do in these groups. And the group work that you do today is worth 20 points. The research that you are going to show me is worth 20 points. And then based on the conversation that you have and your analysis of everybody in your group, that's another 20 points. A lot of points today. So in your groups, you are going to select a leader. I want you to be very careful with who you select as your leader. Your leader needs to be able to multitask. So the leader is going to keep the group focused. The leader is going to read the questions. And the leader is going to write the answers on the sheet. Everybody else in the group needs to be taking notes for him or herself. So the group leader, you need to select that person first. Everybody is going to sign their names. So don't sign for someone else. You're going to sign your own name. And then you're going to discuss each question. So there are some questions that are specific to your piece. And then there are some general questions. So you have some general questions on the front. And then on the back side, question number 4 is specific to whichever piece that you have. So if you have the good dog, or I'm sorry, Arming the Rebels, then you're going to answer that question. If you have the Good Country People, you're going to answer that question specifically. So you're going to answer 1 question. You don't have to worry about the other 2 questions. And then the 5th question is to share your research with the rest of the group. So you're going to share your summary with the rest of the group. So maybe Aubrey says, well, I came up with this piece of research and after talking through this, I don't think it's really good, but this is what it said. I just don't know that it's going to work. And the rest of the group can say, I don't think it's going to work either. And maybe Summer says, well, I came up with this research and I don't know if it's any good, but here's what it's about. And then the rest of the group will say, no, I think that actually might work in this area. So I want you guys to talk about your research. Now, if you have the same research as someone else, then I want you to explain, hey, I got this same piece of research that this person had, and this is just, I think this is a really good piece, so one other thing that I'd like to add in is this. So you're just going to expand a little bit on it. So for the rest of today's class, you have 5 questions to go over and discuss with your group. While you guys are doing this, I'm going to come around and I need to see your research with your summary. I need to see 2 pieces of research and 1 summary. That's how you're going to get your 20 points for the research component. If you have a summary for both pieces of research, even better, but you're not required to have that. I want you guys to share ideas, and then I want you to take notes. When the group leader turns this in, this is what's going to get you your 20 points for your group. If it's not filled out, you're not going to get 20 points. So you have to hold that person accountable. When you turn this in to me, I'm going to scan it in, so your entire group is going to have that. But that does not mean that you shouldn't take your own notes. You still want to take your own notes. Really quickly, I'm going to show you guys where I'm going to scan this into. So once you guys get into Blackboard, you're going to start to see that you have some groups over here. You are only going to be in one of those groups. I put myself into every group so I can kind of see what you guys are doing. Now these groups, Group 1 for Good Country People, you're all in here together with me. Group 2, we're all in there together. My daughter Malala, we're all in there together. Syria, Arming the Rebels, we're all in there together. Now the great thing about this is with each group, you have areas that you can have online conversations with just your group. You can also share things with each other. So you can send each other an email. You can journal with each other. You can start a discussion board. You can start a blog. You can do all of these things together that you might have to go through several different steps if you were to try to find that individual separately. So here, it's going to make it a little bit easier for you guys to collaborate. The one thing that I really like is the file exchange. So when you guys go into file exchange, I am going to add a file, and the file that I add is going to be this. So I'm going to add a file, and it's going to be the scanned version of what you guys discussed today. So you're going to have a copy of that. When you guys do your peer reviews later, you guys can add files, you can email each other, however you guys want to exchange those papers. And we'll talk about that more later on. This is a place for you and your group members to discuss, to share information, to do whatever you need to do in there. And only your group will see that. So keep that in mind. Once you guys are finished, and I need these by, let me see what else. Just have a couple of other things. I need all of these back to me by 10:40. If I don't get the group discussions by 10:40, then I can't give you credit. We do need to go over the audience analysis, which is the assignment that you will have for homework, and then you guys will, that will be your homework for the next couple of days. So any questions on what you're doing? All right. You guys, again, can meet in here. You can meet in the room next to you, next to us, wherever you want to meet. You're already in groups on Blackboard, so I don't have to do that. Whoever is the group leader, I need you to come up and pick up a piece of paper. So you guys are going to meet, discuss, and then come pick up your piece of paper.